Hello everyone, I'm Ngozi of Ejima, and today I'm going to be talking about why I want to leave America, but what's stopping me. So, as I've gotten older and I've gotten to, explore what happiness means to me and what I want out of life, I'm pretty much convinced that I don't think I can get that in America. And when I say that, like I said, this is not a bashing video. I've been in America my whole life. I've never lived anywhere outside of America. When I say this, and I reference to Breonna Taylor's murder, I just feel like I'm even someone who's born and raised here, but I'm thinking even of my parents' generation. I feel like a lot of people are tired of living abroad. Abroad is the dream. That's where everyone, I reference my parents' country, Nigeria. I don't think there's up to 10% of people that want to still be there, to be honest. People who are still there, either they're extremely rich, they're extremely poor, or they don't have access. They can't get a visa, they don't have a passport, they're getting denied, they can't leave. But if you ask the average person in a country like Nigeria if they want to leave, I don't have to even think. I'm very confident that they would. I'm very confident. And I think a lot of it comes down to, the way the West has been portrayed, the way that they marketed themselves. We grew up seeing the Feed the Children videos in Ethiopia and Kenya, even Nigeria, all the African countries. We have a certain mindset about Africa based on the way Africa was marketed to us. Same way people in Africa, in the Caribbean, in Black countries have a certain mindset about America or UK or Canada or other countries in the EU because of the way that they were marketed to them. People don't show them the bad things. People don't show them, what really the full picture. They just see, nice houses, people eating good food, job opportunities, happy families, and that's what they see and they jump on it. Not to say that everybody here wants to go back. That's not what I'm saying, but unless you live under a rock, there's a big repatriation, a big move back to Africa, there's a big movement going on right now, whether you've noticed it or not. A lot of people are giving up the luxuries in their European countries, the luxuries in the West, to go back to the continent. Because what I personally believe, this is my opinion, don't quote me, I don't believe America is for Black people. I don't believe America is designed for Black people. I don't. Just from the inception of the country, its brutal history with slavery, how Black people were brought here. Black people are not indigenous to America. We're not. So I just feel as if no matter what progress has been made, people are fighting. So many Black people have fought, even some non-Black people have fought for us to be where we are even today, 2020. But there's always going to be a fight. It's always going to be a fight, no matter how long, no matter if you don't want to accept the reality of it, there's always going to be a fight. Because when you put people somewhere that they don't belong, it's only but so much you can do. It's never really going to work. So, like I said, that's me, that's my opinion. So the other alternative is, if I'm saying that America is not for Black people, the West in general is not for us, where it is for us? Countries that are indigenous to Black people. What are those? Caribbean countries and mostly African countries. Even the Caribbean, to an extent, had a lot of Indians, Native Indians there first, and then slavery. They dropped them to different places, including the Caribbean. So, I guess depending on the country, I don't want to misquote anything, but it's particularly Africa. But can I tell people that the West is not for us, that Africa is, but then we see so many things going on in African countries where the citizens are not being taken care of. The citizens are not treated well. Citizens are not given opportunities. They're being oppressed by their own fellow Black people, their own Black governments. So how could I tell these people that the West is not for them when to some people Africa is not for them? That's why they left. If it was for them, my mother wouldn't have came here. My father wouldn't have came here if they felt like it was for them. At least come here and live permanently. So when I think about this, it just becomes what do you mean? What would I say? The better evil, if that makes sense? Because it's like nowhere is perfect. Nowhere. There's no utopia. There's no perfect place. There's no perfect country. Everywhere has its, good and bad. But when I think in terms of psychologically, culturally, emotionally, I just really feel as if some countries in Africa are really where we need to be. That's me. And when I started this video, I talked about why I want to move to Africa, but why I haven't, why I'm still here. And I think that there's a lot of people who, like I said, the movement is here. People are leaving. There's a lot of people who have not left, but who have considered it, who want to go back. But there's so many things holding them back. So we referenced some of these things in our videos. Should I die in America or move back to Africa? Our response video to Wadamayo's video after George Floyd's murder. But it's a reality. Everyone can't go back. Everyone's not in a position to. Everyone does not have the finances to. There's so many things you have to take into consideration. And I tried to think about the really 3 top things that are stopping me and a lot of other people from going back to the continent. So I think number 1 is safety. Safety, security. We see what's happening right now in Nigeria with the NSARS. We had a video on that. We'll link it up here somewhere. Safety and security is a big issue in a lot of countries in Africa. Like I said, the West isn't perfect. They have the issues, but the accountability in the system, a lot of people could just do what they want to do, and they're not held to any standard. There's no police. There's no going to court. This and that. You could just buy your way out of everything. So safety is a big issue. A lot of people don't want to move back somewhere where they can go missing and no one's ever going to find them. No one's ever going to attempt to look for them. You have to worry about being at home at a certain time. You have to worry about having a gate and a gate man and this and that because, someone armed robbery, all these things that, I feel like a lot of the average person in the West may not have to think about these things. Doesn't mean that security is not an issue. There are unsafe parts in the West. I'm not negating that, but the level, how important security is, I feel like it means something different for someone who is in maybe a developing country in Africa compared to being in the West. Number 2, healthcare. I say it all the time. Healthcare. Healthcare is big. There's people dying in countries in Africa from diseases and conditions that are almost basically extinct in the Western world. People are dying because they don't have access to basic infrastructure, basic things that are just to us are like so basic and so down here. People don't have access to it. And then when it is good healthcare available, it's extremely expensive. Only rich people can afford it, honestly. It's nowhere close to being affordable for the average average person in an African country, and that almost defeats the purpose, because if we have good hospitals but the average person can't afford it, what's the point? So health is a big issue. Car accidents, things, emergency services, being able to call a number and an ambulance in your house in 5 minutes, something's happening, being able to go to a hospital and get quick emergent care and not have someone, you're in an emergency room and have someone have you in it for hours and hours before you can bring money for to even see you. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of things. After healthcare, I would say is, jobs is a big one as well, because when people say they want to go back, I have another friend. Her mother packed her bags, moved back to her state wherever she's from in Nigeria, and within months she was back in America, going back to work. She went there, she didn't have money, she couldn't find a job. She was a nurse, and they weren't paying her. They're paying her pennies, not even paying her for months at a time. So right now she's dividing her time. She's basically living in both countries, but it's not that simple just to leave your comfort, leave your job. It's actually paying you every week, every 2 weeks, and go to a country and just take that risk. Like, people always talk about business, entrepreneurship. We talked about it in another video. Everyone's not gonna be an entrepreneur. Everyone's not gonna be a business owner. Some people have to work in these businesses. Everyone can't own a business. So for people who want to go back to the continent and don't want to be an entrepreneur, and there's nothing wrong with that, because everyone doesn't have to be an entrepreneur, they need jobs. From the 20-year-olds to the 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, they need a job they can go to, get paid on a regular basis, and get paid a salary they can actually live off of, not getting paid change. So I'm just putting these 3 things up because to me those are for me the 3 most important things. And when I think about moving back to the continent, whether it be Ghana, Nigeria, I've considered a lot of countries in Africa. To me, those are always my top 3 concerns. Security. And even light is a big issue, because light is security. I've even mentioned the light situation in some countries. A country like Nigeria, 24/7 light is not really available to the everyday person. People are still using generators. So to me, light is a part of the security issue. If I don't have access to light 24/7, I can't go out a certain time. I can't do certain things. It makes me, I don't feel safe in somewhere that's dark. I don't. It's a reality of things. So you have security, you have health, you have healthcare, you have jobs. Those are my 3 major things. And I just feel as if Africa has so much potential. as a continent, particular countries in Africa especially, but I just feel like as a continent, we have so much potential. Most countries in a continent, 54 countries, youngest population, so much potential. And when I think about it, it makes me so upset, but I just feel as if we're all being pushed away from it, it only gives space for foreign people, the Chinese, the Indians, all these foreign people to come in and just exploit us. I just feel as if all of us can't run away. That shouldn't be every African's dream to leave Africa. All of us can't run away. And even the ones who are here, we should have the mind. I tell them all the time, you know, you've been in America for 30 years. You should not have in your mindset that you plan to live here for the rest of your life. They build houses, trust me. We have a video about that, building mansions in Africa. Check it out. A lot of them will build the houses, but those houses will be empty. They don't ever get there. And like I said, there's reasons why. It's not just because they don't want to live there. Who wants to leave their country? Who wants to leave their comfort zone? Who wants to leave their family? Who wants to leave good food and parties every week? Who wants to leave that to come to a lonely, sometimes depressing, racist country? Who wants to do that? But people are doing that because their countries are not giving them a choice. And then when some of them even attempt to go back, physically pack up their stuff and go back, they're just pushed back to the West. Because their countries are not doing much to keep them. They're not, things are not changing. And if they're changing, they're moving a little bit too slow, you know, and I know we do have to be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. America got its independence in 1776, and we're still having problems in 2020. But at the same time, if these politicians, these governors know how to steal money, go abroad, put it in foreign banks, they know how to fix their country. They're not stupid. They don't want to because they're benefiting off the corruption. So we need to stop allowing our leaders to benefit off of corruption. People can't normalize it. Corruption is not normal. Greed is not normal. No, like this is excessiveness. It's not normal. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Have you thought about relocating to the continent of Africa, the Caribbean, a black country? What are some things that have stopped you from doing so? What are some fears that you're having? Why, you know, what's basically keeping you in the West? What's keeping you from going back home? You know, because I do believe Africa is home for a lot of black people for the most part. So I'm not going to push on anybody. I don't believe that everyone has to go back. That's nonsensical. Doesn't make sense. But for the people who want to go back, whether they are first generation or they're black African Americans who've been here for years, it doesn't matter. There are people from the Caribbean everywhere who want to go back to the motherland. What is stopping you? What would have to change? What are basically your top three? What are the top three things that will have to change for you to be comfortable to go back to live permanently in a country in Africa? So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with everybody you know. And let's talk in the comment section. See you later. Bye.